technology deployed by IEBC for the conduct of the 2022 general elections met the standards of integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency to guarantee accurate and verifiable results. As noted in the introduction, lack of trust in the electoral system has endured in Kenya for a long time. This led to the introduction of electoral technology following recommendations made by the Independent Review Commission on the general elections held on the 27th December 2007, popularly known as the Kriegler Commission report. That report recommended integration of technology into Kenya's electoral process for registration, identification of voters, and transmission of results. These were enacted in Section 44 of the Elections Act 2011. By this statute, IEBC is enjoined to adopt technology in the electoral process. As a consequence, the IEBC developed a technology known as Kenya Integrated Electoral Management System, KIMS, making Kenya's election process an hybrid as it employed both technology and manual processes. The first, third, and fourth petitioners in the consolidated petition challenge the technology used by IEBC during the 2022 general election. They plead that the manner in which technology was deployed and utilized fell short of the prescribed constitutional and statutory standards. As regards the audit of the register of voters, they urge that IEBC, pursuant to its elections operations plan, committed itself to conducting an audit of the register of voters by 31st March 2022. To the contrary, they allege it only publicly availed the audit report on its website on 2nd August 2022, which was only 7 days to the elections. In this report, it was noted that the auditors established serious gaps and risk to the electoral process, including numerous cases of change of voter stations without knowledge or approval of the affected voters. Grant of voter update privileges in IEBC, IDMs, to 14 user accounts and related to voter registration. Reducing the accountability of user activities in the register of voters. Presence of 11 active generic accounts on the MBIS application and the 2 MBIS users with the same logging identification. Risking unauthorized system users, possible interference, change of particulars on the activation of voters in the system. IEBC's failure to set up access, decertification, and user activity review process. And IEBC was also arranged to have failed to respond to requests by auditors for crucial information. On the integrity of the technology deployed, it was the case for the 7th petitioner that in order to comply with Article 86 of the Constitution and Section 44 of the Elections Act, the technology deployed must be simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. On the simplicity of technology, the 7th petitioner contends that the KIMS kit failed the tests as they were not easily usable by ordinary citizens without expert knowledge. They further assert that IEBC was expected to procure and put in place a technology necessary for the conduct of the general election at least 120 days before the election and ensure consultation with the relevant agencies, institutions, and stakeholders. Furthermore, the petitioners allege that IEBC violated its constitutional duty by delegating the design, implementation, and conduct of the KIMS components of the election to a foreign company, Smartmatic International Holdings, BV. As a result, IEBC staff and the public did not have full comprehension of the KIMS components. They conclude, therefore, that IEBC abdicated and surrendered its role to conduct elections to Smartmatic, and that IEBC vigorously fought any attempt to subject Smartmatic's activities to accountability and transparency, including the safeguards required by Regulations 61, 69, and 75 of the Elections General Regulations 2012. In response, IEBC has submitted that the electoral system met the constitutional threshold, that all the necessary information was accessed only by the authorized persons. The information was accurate, complete, and protected from malicious modification, either by authorized or unauthorized persons. IEBC maintained an audit trail on activities related to information, and that the information was available and could be authenticated through the use of various security features. In further response, IEBC contended that they engaged KPMG on 7th April 2022 to conduct an audit of the register of voters, which was submitted on 18th June 2022. In addition, it issued a briefing on the report on 20th June 2022, summarizing the thematic areas therein and disclosing its findings as well as actions taken to remedy the issues identified. It also conducted its annual audit in compliance with Regulations 11 and 12 of the Election Technology Regulations 2017, and a certification of compliance issued to it on 3rd August 2022. IEBC relied on sworn affidavits by Michael Ouma, Moses Sunkuri, and Hussein Majan on 26th August 2022, which were to the effect that it published the interim report by KPMG on 8th June 2022 and embarked on remedial measures aimed at effecting the recommendations ahead of publication of the final report. It was ascertained that it could not publish the full final audit report, as doing so would compromise the integrity and security of the electoral technology system, considering the provisions of the Data Protection Act, which imposes a duty to protect the data of Kenyan voters. On the other hand, the first and second respondents urged that even if there was failure of technology, it did not vitiate the result of the presidential election. Upon considering all the printing submissions and the ICT scrutiny and inspection tallying and recount report, which fully examined the IEBC's result transmission system, RTS, we are not persuaded by the allegation that the technology deployed by IEBC failed the standard of Article 86A of the Constitution on integrity, verifiability, security, and transparency for the following reasons. 1, whereas it is true that the KIMS kit failed in 235 polling stations, 86,889 voters were granted the right to vote manually, and the requisite forms 32A were duly filed. This happened successfully in Kibwezi West constituency and parts of Kakamega County. 2, while the audit report was released to the public 7 days before the 9th August election, the register of voters was used at the election without any apparent anomalies. 3, Smartmatic was procured to provide the necessary technological infrastructure, as IEBC did not have the capacity to do so. No credible evidence meeting the requisite standard of proof of access to the system by unauthorized persons was adduced by the petitioners. The scrutiny report prepared by the registrar of this court did not reveal any security breaches of the IEBC's RTS. IEBC successfully deployed a biometric voter register system which captures unique features of a voter's facial image, fingerprints, and civil data to register and update voter details across the country and also in the diaspora. The BVR captures a voter's facial image, fingerprints, and civil data, which features are unique to each of the voter. In compliance with Section 6A of the Elections Act 2011, IEBC opened the register of voters for verification of biometric data by members of the public for a period of 30 days. Thereafter, the register was revised to address issues arising from the verification exercise. KPMG then audited the register, and we are satisfied that the inconsistencies